Hello everyone, welcome back to the Double Bonus Show. I'm your host, Jake Malensik. I got a quick little video for you today, but I wanted to highlight another team that I don't want to say they're not getting enough credit. That's not fair. They are, as of right now, I've changed this 3 times in the past month, but I believe as of right now, as of Tuesday, February 25th at 9:56 a.m. when I'm recording this video, my national championship pick, the Houston Cougars. And here's why. Houston, I have fallen for the Houston Cougars probably 3 out of the last 4 years in terms of picking them to go far and picking them to win the national championship because I just love the way they compete on defense. I think they have maybe the best coach in the whole country, if not the most underrated coach. Kelvin Sampson is a fantastic coach. All he's done is add talent after talent after talent. This year, though, feels different for Houston. This year feels like it's a new version of a old team. This version of the Houston Cougars is the best offensive version of this team that we've seen probably since 2021. Now, in 2021 was the last time they were ranked this high in offensive efficiency on KenPom, but that year they were not shooting as well as they're shooting it this year. They are number 3 in the whole country in three-point percentage. They are 3% above average in effective field goal percentage. They're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. They do not get it stolen. They do not get it blocked. They don't really turn it over that much. The only thing they don't really do well, they don't shoot a lot of twos, and they don't really get to the line. Those are things that will change in the tournament. I think so, because Kelvin Sampson is a good coach. The 2-point percentage might not get higher, but I think that this is a team that will hunt for more fouls and try different things. When you get to tournament play, you play a little bit different than you normally would. This is a team that will probably try and get to the line a little bit more. This is a team that will probably drive in more situations. The matchups will also be, right? If you're playing a good three-point defending team, Houston's going to be able to take it to the hoop and hopefully get fouled and make some twos. Now, we'll see what happens. The point that I wanted to make with this Houston team is I think this is their best chance to win the national championship that they've had in the last blank amount of years. Last year they went in as a 1 seed. However, when you lose your championship point guard, your championship level point guard, NBA player, guy that's getting like NBA minutes this season for the Raptors, at least I think he's still playing. Last time I watched the Raptors, he played for them in Jamal Shed. I believe if Jamal Shed is healthy, that team could have maybe done it. UConn was going to be a tough task, right? And they only lost to Duke by a few anyways, and they would have had a tough go of it. And again, the last time that they were this good offensively, they were this good at effective field goal percentage, they were still in the AAC, and they went in as a 5 seed. The last time they were ranked this high, they were in the AAC, and they went in as a 2 seed. Now, being a 2 seed still gives you national championship aspirations. But that version of this team still wasn't the same as this current version. They still weren't that great at shooting. They turned the ball over more that year. They got it stolen more. And they weren't as effective at scoring. They were an efficient offense because they got a lot of rebounds. They were an efficient offense because, they didn't turn it over a lot, but they've turned it over even more than they do this year. They were just a slow offense that got their shot, and then if they didn't get their shot, there was a chance they were going to get an offensive rebound. And this team was really good. I'm not going to sit here and say they weren't. They went 28-4. Again, 28-4 in that conference, lost at Tulsa, at East Carolina, at Wichita State. Won the AAC tournament, lost to Baylor in the Elite Eight. What's the difference for Houston this year? Well, the difference this year is when you're playing in a stronger conference, you automatically have a better chance to win the national championship because you're playing stronger competition every day. Their slow tempo is still the same. They're still the same Houston teams that you remember that play slow, suffocate you, and defend their tails off every single day. The difference for this team is they've got multiple different guys that can hit threes and hit shots when needed. Milos Usan, their point guard, who's playing incredible lately, 42%. Emmanuel Sharp, 43%. Terrence Arsenault, 37%. LJ Cryer, 41%. Right? And like Arsenault's coming off the bench. When you have a guy coming off the bench that can shoot 38% from three and 52% from two and 73% of the line, that's good. They've also got one of the best defenders in the country in JoJo Tugler. He's 4th in the country in block percentage, 20th in the country in offensive rebound percentage. He is a force at the center position. They've got a star veteran in Juwan Roberts, who has been incredible at getting to the line. He's been the best player on the team besides Sharp at getting to the line. He doesn't make his free throws, but he's certainly getting there. He hits his twos. He's a veteran. He's a leader. And if anybody knows how to win, it's him. The other thing I like about this team is we talk about, okay, you need strong guard play to win the NBA, to win the NCAA tournament. But this team matches their strong guard play with strong big man play as well. And that's a huge thing. They're not just guard heavy, or they're not just center heavy, or they're not just wing heavy. They're a little small. That might be their only thing. Their small forward is 6'3", but they have good guards and they have good big men, and they rotate in guys who are a little bigger. Like when Arsenault comes in, they can play a bigger lineup with a 6'6" guy. But they do such a good job of playing small that it almost doesn't matter. I mean, you have a 6'8" center, but with the way they play that it works, because they switch and they suffocate and they force you to take tough shots. It's hard to get to the rim against this team because they defend so well on the perimeter, they don't let you get there. And then they have a guy who's 6'8" who plays much bigger than that. He's got a long wingspan, he is athletic, and he has great mobility in the paint. That's JoJo Tugler. If you have not watched him play, please go take a look at his play. He is a fantastic defender. He's probably going to, in my mind, win Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. If he doesn't, it's robbery at this rate. So despite them playing small, they're long and athletic, and they're the same defensive intensity of Houston that we've always seen. Again, the last time that they shot this good from the field in terms of effective field goal percentage, they were a 5 seed. This year, they're going to be a 1 or a 2. What's the big difference? If you're a 5 seed, well, first of all, in the first round, you have to play a 12 instead of a 16 or a 15. And 12 seeds every single year are the most dangerous seed in the entire tournament. It feels like 12s and 11s are going to win. You think about last year, how many 12s and 11s got it done. Yale as a 13 knocked off Auburn. We saw Grand Canyon as a 12 beat St. Mary's, right? We saw so many 12 seeds come out and get things done. I mean, Oakland won as a 14 seed, 12 seed James Madison. So not having to play one of those seeds in the first round is huge. Getting a 16 or a 15 helps. But then also in the next round, if you're a 1 seed, you don't have to play a 5 or a 4. Or if you're the 5, you don't have to play the 4. You get to play the 8 or the 9. You don't have to play, you have an easier path as a 1 seed. You don't have to play, if you're the 5 seed, you don't have to play 12, 4, 1, 2 if things break the right way. You get to play 16, 8/9, 4/5, maybe a 13 in the Sweet 16, right? Maybe a 12 in the Sweet 16. And then, so your path is a little bit easier too. I think this is the best chance that Houston will have. They are set up to win the national championship more than they ever have been in the past. This team can shoot, but they also hold their defensive intensity. We talked a few weeks ago about St. John's and their bully ball and their defensive intensity. And I said, hey, if there's a team that can match their defensive intensity, but also win on the offensive side, it's a matchup nightmare for St. John's. I think Houston is that matchup nightmare. I think they're a matchup nightmare for a lot of different teams. I think that nobody is going to want to face this team with the way that they defend, with the way that they slow the game down. They have one of the slowest tempos in America every year, and it works because they're just so much more talented than you that you're going to play to Houston's speed, and they're going to force you to play slow. They're going to defend, but this year they have offensive firepower that they haven't had in years past to this level. And that's why, I think I'm going to fall for it again, and I'm going to take Houston as my national champion because I just think this version of this team is the best version of Houston that we've seen and the best version of Houston that can win a national championship. The one thing missing from Kelvin Sampson's resume has been the national championship. He is one of the most underrated coaches in America. I love him. I love watching the drills he runs. I love watching the way he coaches. I love the intensity and effort that his teams play with. And the only thing that he's really missing is bringing a national title to that school. A school that was in the American Athletic Conference and has risen all the way to the top of the Big 12. The Big 12 with Kansas and Arizona and Baylor and Texas Tech and all of these other really, really good basketball schools. He's risen to the top of that league with this team. The last thing on his resume is a national championship. I think he can get it done with this roster. This is the best constructed Houston roster we have seen. Give Kelvin Sampson credit. LJ Cryer is so awesome. The Uzan, I believe it's Milos Uzan, transferred from Oklahoma. He's been playing championship level point guard for a month now. He's locked in. They've got defenders everywhere. They got 8 different guys that can beat you. It's the deepest Houston team we've seen in a while. And throughout all of that, still the defensive level of intensity that can win the national championship. Go take a look at Houston. If you somehow haven't watched them, go ahead and give them a watch. They are so much fun. They're going to win the Big 12 regular season again. I think they could probably win the Big 12 tournament this year. I think they can win the NCAA tournament this year. That's not a hot take, obviously. But this is the best version of Houston that I've seen since I started watching this sport. And I truly believe that the Cougars can and might, I'm going to probably take them to win the championship and cut down the nets this year. That's going to wrap up today's episode of the Double Bonus Show. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you also go follow me on Twitter. It's at Double Bonus Show. Also on TikTok. Haven't been as active on there, but I'm going to get back to it. So follow me everywhere on social media as well. It's just at Double Bonus Show. Most importantly, though, have a great day.